Hello everybody, welcome back to the show here on FlickDirect, where I give you guys the latest that happened in entertainment news throughout the week, and then I give you guys my personal take on the matter at hand. I'm your host Austin Putnam, and I wanted to apologize that there wasn't a show last night. In light of recent events, it didn't feel right to make a news show, but at the same time, it didn't feel right regardless to film anything without mentioning said events. So first of all, I wanted to say rest in peace to George Floyd, a man who was murdered by a police officer. To George Floyd's closest friends and family, my deepest condolences. It is an understatement to say, and a huge understatement to say, that it was absolutely horrific what happened. My heart goes out to all of you during this time. Also, to the protesters that are out there peacefully protesting, keep doing what you're doing. And also, I wanted to say to the protesters, please stay safe out there, because I know that there are many others out there that are using the protests as a way to loot stores and damage businesses. So please stay safe out there. And to the peaceful protesters that are just protesting, keep doing what you're doing. Also, one more thing I wanted to say, if you guys want to donate or sign petitions to the Black Lives Matter cause, please go to the links in the description below. I left a bunch of links to donations and petitions, so if you guys would like to donate to the cause, please do so. We need to change, because this cycle has been constantly going for as long as I can possibly remember. So to George Floyd, rest in peace. To his family, my deepest condolences. To the protesters, keep doing what you're doing. And if you guys would like to donate and sign petitions, please go to the links in the description below. There needs to be a change. This needs to stop. But anyways, continuing on with today's show, like I mentioned, it didn't feel right doing a show today without mentioning in light of recent events. But anyways, continuing on with today's show, there wasn't a whole lot that happened in movie news, so I just chose the ones that really stood out. So first of all, we're going to talk about the fact that apparently Sonic, that movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, is getting a sequel, to which, hell yes! First of all, I want to say to any of you out there that have not seen the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, please check it out. It is one of the better movies based on a video game, and it's actually a movie based on a video game that treats that video game source material with respect while also going in a different direction in a way. It was a very entertaining movie, and I do want to see what they do with the sequel. I'm curious to see how they treat Tails, and I'm really curious to see if they add Knuckles, which is one of the fan favorite Sonic characters out there. And I'm also curious to see what they do with Dr. Eggman, and please get Jim Carrey back. Seriously, if you don't get Jim Carrey back, I don't feel like there's a point in seeing Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I mean, not saying that Ben Schwartz was great, because he absolutely was great as this new version of Sonic. In fact, I think he did a phenomenal job of bringing his own iteration to the character. But without Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman, it's not going to feel the same. But I just feel like that there's so many possibilities that they can do with a Sonic the Hedgehog sequel. From what I know, the screenwriter is back and director Jeff Fowler is back directing. But really, other than that, I just wanted to say congratulations to the team who made the movie, especially to the screenwriters and Jeff Fowler. You guys did not only a great job, like I said, honoring the source material, but also doing your own thing with it, while at the same time, like I mentioned, still honoring the source material. And I'm really excited to see what you guys do with the sequel. Moving on to our second to final news story of last week, technically. When I saw this headline, I just thought, oh my god, if this is true, I'm going to be so elated. So as we all know, next year on HBO Max, Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League will be debuting, and I'm honestly really excited to see what he has for his cut, because even though I did, for one, enjoy the bumpy ride that was Justice League, even I could admit that that movie could have been way better, because it feels like there was just so much of that film stripped. So yes, I'm really excited to see what Zack Snyder has for us for his vision of Justice League. But it's not just that, but apparently there may be a David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. Now, here's the thing, and I might get killed for saying this, I'm one of the few that did not mind the original cut of Suicide Squad. Do I think it was a good movie? Not really. But in my eyes, I find it to be a watchable action movie that has so much wasted potential. And David Ayer himself said that it would be cathartic, incredibly cathartic at that, to do his cut of Justice League, because from what he said, his version of Suicide Squad was beautiful, haunting, dark, and it really surprised me when I said that, because I know he only had 6 weeks to write his script, so I can only imagine that the reshoots that he had to do were the things that essentially changed the movie entirely. And not just that, but from what I know, the people who made the more recent trailers, not more recent, but the ones that came out before the movie came out, were the people that actually edited the movies. So it'll be curious to see if David Ayer is allowed by HBO Max to make his original cut of Suicide Squad, because I really, really want to see what his cut is like. I mean, David Ayer, if you ask me, is a phenomenally gifted filmmaker. I'd be really happy to see what he has in store, especially for what his original vision was going to be. So please, to HBO Max, allow him to do his cut. Please allow David Ayer to complete his vision. I really, really want to see this movie. Moving on to our last news story of last week, I saw this and I just thought, oh my god, I cannot wait. So I don't know if you guys are big fans of Labyrinth like myself. I saw the movie when I was a very little kid, and I really didn't expect a sequel. Well, guess what? Apparently, Labyrinth is getting a sequel, and apparently, Scott Derrickson is directing it. Honest to God, the more I think about this is a very interesting choice, but it fits if you ask me. I mean, Scott Derrickson is a phenomenal director. I love his work on Exorcism of Emily Rose, which was my introduction to him. I think that Deliver Us from Evil is a highly underrated movie. I love his work on Doctor Strange. This is amazing. I know they do have a writer to which I cannot remember her name, so I'll put her right there. But from what I've read, this writer has done amazing stuff, and I can't wait to see what she does with Scott Derrickson on the Labyrinth sequel. I mean, it is going to be weird seeing this movie without David Bowie in it. Rest in peace to David Bowie. I cannot wait to see what Scott Derrickson is going to do with the Labyrinth sequel. This is going to be a very interesting movie to say the least, but still nonetheless. Can't wait to see what you do with this thing, Scott Derrickson. I think you're an amazing filmmaker. Again, can't wait to see what you do with this thing. Alrighty guys, and that is going to do it for this week's show. Please comment down, let me know below. How do you all feel about a Sonic the Hedgehog sequel? Are you guys really excited to know that one of the better video game based movies, at least in my mind, is getting a sequel? What do you guys think they should do with Dr. Eggman, with Tails, and do you guys think they should introduce Knuckles? Also, how do you all feel about an Ayer cut of Suicide Squad? Do you think that maybe his cut could be better than the original cut? I certainly do think so. And finally, with Scott Derrickson making a Labyrinth sequel, how do you guys feel, I should say, knowing that Scott Derrickson is making a Labyrinth sequel? Please let us know below. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's show. If so, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever a new video from us goes live. If you guys want to see any of our previous two shows, please click either right there or there. Also, one more time, rest in peace to George Floyd. Keep protesting out there peacefully, stay safe out there, donate or sign a petition to any of the links below. And once more, my deepest condolences to George Floyd's not deepest, but his closest friends and family. And of course, until next week's show, we'll see you guys next week. Stay safe out there. And once more, rest in peace to George Floyd.